to celebrate the life of your loved ones, Just Cool Photos offers live streaming, virtual interactions, and video recording packages for all funeral services. Contact us through your funeral directors or call 473-409-1981 to choose your package.
To the song, yes, the song of Al Green in the morning time. It's a wonderful Thursday. Good morning to you wherever you are. It's the song of Classic 105.5 and 105.9 on the FM band. Good morning. Doesn't matter where you are within the sound of a voice. Those of you here at home, across the region, in other parts of the diaspora, and depending on where you are, it probably it would make sense for me to say good afternoon to you or good night. Either way, it's a really great day, and I'm Joseph Kado, and welcome to Good Morning Grenada. And we're happy that we're here to set you on your way and to get you up and about on a glorious, a terrific, a wonderful Thursday. Another day where we find purpose in our lives, and we consider to do those things that makes us better. Not just better as an individual, but better as a family, better as a nation, as a region, and the world at large. What makes us better? Well, we start every day by trying to empower ourselves and take ourselves to the next level by adding a word to our vocabulary. And this morning, the word, very simple word, is a 4-letter word, glut. Glut. And the word for the day is glut. And it is a verb, and it is spelled G-L-U-T. Glut. So, glut can be used in varied forms. So, in the marketing economic terms, glut has to do with to flood the market with goods so that supply exceeds demands. The market is glutted with oil. Yes, and you always hear about the relationship between supply and demand. When the supply is low, the demand is high, the price, it goes up. When it's the reverse, the price is expected to go down. I know they say expected to go down. So the word glut. So to flood the market with goods so that supply exceeds demand, or to fill, especially with food, to satiety. Yes, the word glut. Or an excessive quantity or oversupply, a glut of oil on the market. Yes, the word glut this morning, or it means to swallow greedily. The word glut in the morning time, and certainly just to add to your vocabulary, the word glut, and it is a verb, and again it means to an excessive amount or to flood the market. If this morning you are an economic student, social studies student, you probably want to add that word to your vocabulary in the morning time. Yes, it's good just to be able to expand on your vocabulary, not just your vocabulary, but shall I say our vocabulary in the morning time. From the word of the day, we take the thought of the day. I have two for you. And the first one says, when life gives you 100 reasons to break down and cry, and very often we feel that way, when life gives you and me 100 reasons to break down and cry, show life that you have 1,000,000 reasons to smile and laugh and to stay strong. Life has very little to do with our issues and our circumstances and our situations. When life gives you 100 reasons to break down and cry, show life, show the people around you, your circumstances and your situations. You dig deep and you find 1,000,000 reasons to smile and to do what? Stay strong. Indeed, you owe it to yourself to stay strong. So that's one thought of the day. And my second thought of the day is to remind you that strength, in staying strong, that strength doesn't come from winning. No. But your struggles develop your strength. So your strength does not come because you've won, but in fact your strength comes from your struggles. That is, in fact, what develops your strength. So you have to thank God for your struggles every now and again, and you recognize that's what makes you become a better individual as you go through, as you traverse through life on a daily basis. We try to satisfy every bit of the person, so we also try to offer you a bit of health tip in the morning time. And health trends, just to remind you as you go through today, that health trends may come and go, and that is the truth. But the fundamentals of good health will always remain the same. Nothing changes on those. They remain the same. There's some basic elements that remains the same, and we know what they are. You know them, continue with them. Forget the trends, and just stick to the basic. That's something what makes life what it is. The fundamentals of life, the basics, the things that we've grown up knowing all our lives. Why not? We just continue to do them. And while we are that, I also want to speak to persons with special medical needs, especially the diabetics. In November, we celebrated November 14th, Diabetes Awareness Month. And certainly, just some basic tips this morning. On a daily basis, continue to have regular checkups. And that's a nice way of keeping in health. You're hypertensive. Keep checking your blood, your pressure. If you know you're diabetic, keep checking your sugar. You have a particular situation. Continue to have regular checkups. Also, continue to have healthy diets that would boost immunity. Because the challenge is very often, how do we keep our immune system on par so that it helps us to ward off certain ailments? Have an emergency plan, and this is of really, really critical importance, that you must have an emergency plan. Know where your medication is. What do you do in case something happens? Your doctor's number, those sort of information. Who's the next of kin? Where do you find who? That's the information that is critical. If you're on prescription medication, continue taking your medication. Not because you feel good today, you decide, you know what, I'm going to give it a break today. No. If you know you're expected to take it at quarter to the hour, then you'll do that in just a bit. Continue to be physically active, even when you're staying indoors, especially now in the COVID-19 period. And while we get a little bit of relief, we can fall into that, and follow advice from the health ministry or your health experts. Follow your doctor's advice. If the doctor says this is what you have to do, certainly those are some healthy tips during natural calamities and outbreaks for people with diabetes, and that's advice coming from the World Health Organization. Talking about advice coming from the World Health Organization, well, not the World Health Organization, but we look at the COVID dashboard, and again, we continue to smile and bold. Hooray, hoorah, good news, really and truly. We have 0 new cases, and we continue to smile. That's enough reason to smile, folks. If you don't have a reason to smile, well, as I say in local parlance, that for you. But for those of us who have a greater appreciation of life, as we keep our eyes on the clock, we say it is actually 18 to the hour, 0 new cases. We have 56 active cases and 1 new recovery, which is fine. But again, we've noticed for the last couple of days that the death column remains where it is. It remains unchanged, and we're happy about that. There might be some individuals, though, who are probably thinking, well, I probably need to get tested. I need to do what I have to do. You can go to the Guelph Polyclinic. That is an option that is available. Or there is a number of different sites across the country. Today, Thursday, as every other day, there is the Kirani James Stadium, yes, and you access through Gate B. All of the health centers across the nation, yes, St. George, Granborough, St. David, Sutez, Guelph, and Hillsborough. But if you attending, you're making your appointment. Well, you must make an appointment to visit to the health centers. You must, and all COVID protocol will be in place. Today, Thursday, though, you can also visit, besides the health centers, there is Sam's, and they're available from 12 noon to 3, and there is the Guelph Polyclinic. Yes, so you want to keep that in mind. Go and do the Guelph Polyclinic, and you are encouraged when you go. You attending the Guelph Polyclinic. You are encouraged to use the top entrance. Use the top entrance. And again, all COVID-19 protocols must be observed. Keep that in mind. As you go through the day, folks, I remind you every day, we keep a positive mental attitude. We smile because we are happy. We smile, and happiness doesn't reside necessarily in our prevailing circumstances. But happiness resides within us because we choose on any given day. For this is the 18th day of November. Today we choose, we make that decisive, that concerted effort that I am going to smile. Whoever you are, wherever you are, determine today that notwithstanding your situation, that we are all going to smile. With that being said, we get ready for the morning edition that comes up in just under a minute. And for those of you that's in television, you get a repeat of some of the top stories from last evening's newscast. I will rejoin you at the other side of the clock. It is Thursday, Talk the Thing Thursday, and we're going to have a nice little chit-chat. Just chit-chat. The season, what's happening, the holidays, are you feeling it? Yes, no, you're not feeling it? Maybe not. I'm not sure why. We can chit-chat about that later on in the day. At 9 o'clock, to the point, and be speaking with a representative from the TGM, the Grenada movement. That conversation takes place right here on Classic. But the morning edition comes up next.
Thanks for joining us on GBN Primetime News. I am Blossom Alexis Welsh with the details. Top story tonight. The boyfriend of a UK woman who vanished in the US Virgin Islands over 8 months ago has reportedly been laying low in Grenada. International media reports that the 44-year-old was in the Spice Isle trying to sell a luxury catamaran for close to $300,000. But as his family encourages him to return home, he is once again missing. This report was put together by the Virgin Islands Consortium.
Where is Ryan Bain? Those interested in keeping tabs on the whereabouts of the man who is the last person known to have seen UK national Sarm Heslop before she disappeared off the coast of St. John thought they had finally tracked him down after he sailed out of USVI waters and off the radar for months since Heslop's disappearance in early March. About 2 weeks ago, Bain and his catamaran, on which both he and Heslop lived before she went missing, were spotted in a somewhat secluded marina in Grenada. Bain was seen walking his distinctive white dog, lounging in the sunshine on the yacht's deck and sipping coffees in the cafe of Le Fait Bleu Marina. International media outlets reported rumors later confirmed by the consortium's on-the-ground sources that the catamaran's identifying details, name and registration number, usually prominently displayed by all registered seagoing vessels, had been removed from the sides of the boat, with only faint outlines remaining of where Siren Song had been painted. The VIC regional news desk received a message from our source about 2 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. They sent a photo of the marina. Bain's boat was not in its usual spot. Has the catamaran finally been sold over the objections of Sam Heslop's family and friends? The 47-foot leopard four-head vessel was listed on several sites, asking price $299,000. One of the listings indicates a recent upgrade of the onboard refrigerator and freezer, among other things. Heslop's family had been pleading for Bain to return to the U.S. Virgin Islands so that law enforcement there could examine the boat. Despite claiming through his lawyer that he was, quote, devastated by his girlfriend's disappearance over 8 months ago, Bain has never allowed authorities to look for clues in the place he says Heslop was last seen, aboard the catamaran. U.S. Coast Guard officers responding to Bain's belated report of his girlfriend's disappearance were denied the opportunity to do anything but a cursory inspection of the deck of the vessel. They cited Bain for denying them full access to the boat, contrary to the narrative spun by Bain's lawyer, who'd said that responding officers were able to inspect the vessel without limitation. Sam Heslop's friends and family say that even the smallest clue gleaned from the boat could hold the key to solving the mystery of her disappearance. For their part, the U.S. Virgin Islands Police Department says they are very interested in interviewing Bain and searching his boat, but several attempts at obtaining a search warrant for that purpose had been rebuffed by the courts because, according to a police source close to the investigation, detectives had not provided anything of, quote, evidentiary value do to justify such a warrant. Because Bain has never been declared a suspect in Heslop's disappearance, he is free to sail the open seas, at least for now.
Again, that was a report by the Virgin Islands Consortium. Calls placed to the Royal Grenada Police Force on Wednesday afternoon to determine if local authorities are involved in an investigation into the matter went unanswered. Workers at the marina, where he was reportedly spotted, did not confirm or deny that Bain was a guest at the facility. In other news, government is still pursuing a merger of the Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association and the Grenada Cocoa Association. Agriculture Minister Peter David disclosed the re-establishment of a committee to pursue a merger. Chrislina John tells us more.
The government has re-established a committee that will undertake the merger of the Grenada Cocoa Association and the Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association. And that's according to Minister for Agriculture Peter David, speaking during the signing of a memorandum of understanding that will bring benefits to nutmeg farmers.
One of the issues that the government has just announced on is the re-establishment of the merger committee. I want to use this opportunity to say that we have written to both the GCNA and the GCA, indicating to them that government, pursuant to an agreement with both boards more than a year ago, has reinstituted the merger committee.
The Agriculture Minister says the committee is tasked with the responsibility of coming up with the principles on which both the GCNA and the GCA can merge. This is one of the problems, he says, that needs to be fixed.
How do we find the synergies between both organizations so that they can operate in a more efficient way? And we're talking about merger. Therefore, I'm happy to say that the government has agreed to establish or to endorse the new committee after an agreement from both GCNA and GCA to be part of that committee to find the way towards a merger. And that merger, we hope, will lead to more benefit to the farmers, efficiency.
Back in 2020, government proposed a merger between both entities, the GCNA and the GCA. However, it was the view of many that government was not seeking farmers' interest. A number of recommendations were put forward. However, to date, a merger is yet to happen. Following a series of consultation with farmers and stakeholders from around June last year up to January of 2021, a compromise was not met, and most of the attendees at both meetings were not in favor of a merger of both entities. In January, at their annual general meeting, nutmeg farmers passed a resolution openly saying no to the merger and a withdrawal of representation on the merger board from further discussions. Chrislina John, GBN News.
A memorandum of understanding signed between St. George's University and the Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association will create a new cutting edge for the nutmeg industry, as we hear from Chrislina John once again.
The Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association, the GCNA, has partnered with the St. George's University through Windward Islands Research and Education Foundation, WINDREF, using technology to offer early detection of the sex of nutmeg trees to farmers. A memorandum of understanding was signed between both parties on Tuesday at the National Stadium, solidifying the intention to use the polymerase chain reaction, or the PCR test, to detect whether a nutmeg plant is either male or female. The success of this new technological advancement in the agriculture sector will save farmers from the loss of finance and effort, as they normally would have to wait 7 years at the maturity stage of the tree to know whether it has bearing capabilities. This issue has been plaguing farmers since 1842. Almost 200 years later, the chairman of the Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association, Leo Cato, is optimistic about the prospects of this direction and foresees sustainable growth within the sector because of it.
We have one common and collective interest: to fix a problem that will put a smile on the faces of the farmers and the families of Grenada. And this journey would be done in a very This is perhaps one of the most important decisions and actions taken in the last 70 years, when we are attempting to fix a problem that will change the industry forever.
Understanding the economic loss and frustration of farmers in this respect, the director of WINDREF, Dr. Callum McPherson, says the institution is pleased to embark on this project.
So we're delighted with this project. I was speaking to the GCNA members. We heard, I thought it was going to be 5 or 10 trees that we would have to look at, but they mentioned it's up to 10,000 trees that we would have to help process. So we're looking forward to this. We know that it's going to have an economic benefit for the peoples, and particularly the farmers of Grenada. And we greatly look forward to this partnership being a success.
Minister for Agriculture Peter David noted that this project speaks to the importance of collaboration in bringing the nutmeg sector forward.
St. George's University agreed, GCNA agreed, and we all agreed, and government, that we will pursue this course of research in order to solve a big problem that my brother Kato has indicated existed for many years, many decades, over a century. And it shows us the need to do two things. One is to cooperate with each other. That agriculture needs the cooperation of all sections of society. And in this case, the private sector and the public sector has found a way to cooperate to benefit the farmers of the country.
Christina John, GBN News.
Residents who would be affected when work on the Western Main Road Corridor project begins next year were given an opportunity to voice their concerns and ask questions during a series of discussions with consultants on the project. Here's Christina John once again.
A team of professionals from Beston Consulting firm based in Trinidad and Tobago recently concluded a series of consultations with the residents from St. George's Northwest, St. John and St. Mark who would be impacted once work commences on the Western Main Road Corridor next year. Project team leader Mandish Singh said the work will be divided into 5 packages and will involve upgrades to the 26-kilometer of road which spans from the National Stadium in St. George to Waltham, St. Mark.
Progressing on from there, we will have packages of work, as Kishan has alluded to. We've split the project into various packages and getting tenders for those out early next year so that we can get construction started probably around about April onwards for the other packages. We are looking to get the entire road completed by the end of 2023, which means there'll be multiple packages of work and multiple contractors. It's not going to be just one big contractor starting from one end and working their way along. It'll just take too long if we take that approach.
Climate change is one of the main mitigating factors in coming up with the right designs to execute the project. Civil engineer Kishan Ramkisun, in his virtual presentation, gave a scope of the work that is to be carried out.
To prevent, firstly, to capture all runoff, all rainwater runoff, and also to prevent the road from eroding. We're also looking at repairing and replacing all dilapidated and undersized culverts. We're also proposing channel protection works for rivers and streams in terms of placing material so that the foundations of those structures will not be eroded. We're also looking at vegetation maintenance so that during storms or whatever the case may be, in terms of rockfall, so you won't have that blocking of the roadway in the future. And we're also looking at doing construction of short retaining walls for minor land slippages.
The team's environment engineer Alison King outlines her role in executing the project and how they would work towards ensuring minimal discomfort to residents.
How do you use the forest? How do you use the rivers, the marine space adjacent to the road? What concerns you may have in relation to those services, and how you would recommend that we mitigate those possible impacts. There may be locations where natural hazards may be of concern to you. There may be areas that are prone to flooding. You want to make sure that those types of issues are properly managed through the design so that they no longer are an issue when the new road is put into operation.
Residents will have to make certain adjustments once the project commences, as there will be unavoidably an increase in dust, noise, and traffic delays. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
The Royal Grenada Police Force has arrested and charged former news reporter Asha Andal for stealing and money laundering. Officers attached to the Financial Intelligence Unit arrested and charged the 36-year-old resident of Fontenoy, St. George for the offences of stealing and money laundering. Andal, who was charged on Tuesday, allegedly committed these offences at her former place of employment. She was granted bail in the amount of $20,000 with one surety with conditions and is scheduled to appear in court on January 4th, 2022. The new entry protocol for fully vaccinated visitors took effect on Monday. It was another measure implemented by government to create a level of economic stability in the country amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Grenada's COVID-19 positivity rates dropped significantly over the last month, and to the disappointment of health officials, so too have the vaccination rate, leaving only 29% of the population fully vaccinated. Rena Thomas tells us more in this report.
Grenada continues to make changes to its COVID-19 protocols due to the decrease in the island's COVID-19 cases. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sean Charles says Grenada is almost back to operating as normal as islanders welcome fully vaccinated visitors from across the world for the 2021 tourist season. The latest changes to the country's entry requirements, which took effect on Monday, see fully vaccinated people entering the country without the need to quarantine once their rapid test shows negative.
That is basically it with regards to the update. Now, yes, we have made some changes to our entry requirements, and the changes basically affect persons who are fully vaccinated. All right, you come in. All right, you have a lateral flow test, a rapid test. Once negative, there is no quarantine requirement. All right, once negative, you go to your wherever you are going to stay.
The new entry protocol does not apply to unvaccinated returning nationals.
Persons who are not fully vaccinated, literally there's no change at all. So for persons who are not vaccinated, if you are a non-national, you are not allowed to come in. If you are a citizen or a resident of Grenada, you are allowed in, but you must quarantine for 7 days. You will be tested on the 5th day by PCR after arrival, and once that is negative, you are released around.
The Chief Medical Officer explains that Grenada's test positivity rate has dropped to 0.7%, which is favored by the Ministry of Health. But this has resulted in the drop of vaccination numbers, as many believe the coronavirus is no longer a threat.
Overall, we have 29.5% of the total population who are fully vaccinated. All right, that's 29.5% of the whole population. Of the target population, meaning individuals 12 years and above, that percentage is 35.9%. So we have made some strides. We've noted recently that the number of persons coming in for vaccination has slowed, because as the threat subsides, persons are, they feel a little more comfortable, and they don't see the need to be vaccinated.
The Chief Medical Officer, who was speaking during government's weekly post-cabinet briefing, warned the population not to become complacent. When it comes to COVID-19, protocols as this can lead to a serious wave of the virus. For GBN News, I am Rena Thomas reporting.
As as a result of the change in the COVID-19 protocols, which indicate that fully vaccinated passengers arriving in the island are not required to quarantine, the Grenada Airports Authority has issued an advisory to members of the public. According to the GAA, only fully vaccinated people will be allowed to pick up fully vaccinated passengers arriving at the Morris Bishop International Airport effective Monday. It also advises that proof of vaccination will be required from people entering the arrivals pickup area to transport passengers. In other news, acting head of the school feeding department in the Ministry of Education, Marley Neptune, says as the school feeding program continues to expand, the Ministry of Education continues to find ways to ensure that most of the food served to the students is local. She spoke about the food supplied to the public schools under the program.
In the school feeding program, we provide the schools with fish, we provide them with poultry, dry goods, and from the earnings or from the contributions of students and teachers, some teachers who eat in the program, some of those resources are used to buy local produce. I am really hoping that we can, as we try to transform the program, swap some of those imported items for more local produce. That's a lot better for our students. But those are the things we provide.
Ms. Neptune is hoping that in the future, meal kits can be prepared and offered to vulnerable students.
So with the meal kit, what has been done, and a good model, I think St. Lucia does it in a number of other places like Belize and so, is you put together items. You package the items together like a food kit, and you distribute it to the students who are in need. The authorities try to stimulate the local economy, so they would have certain shops in the community that they would have authorization to provide certain amounts.
A total of $3.1 million was spent on the school feeding program in 2019, and the same was budgeted for 2020. Infrastructure Development Minister Norland Cox says government's plans to remove derelict vehicles from the nation's roads started but paused to iron out some issues relating to the storage of these vehicles. Cherian Blackman-Stephen has this latest report.
There are some critical elements that have been hindering the response for traffic, and one of those being the lack of an appropriate tow truck to move the necessary vehicles off the roadway. So we have taken a decision to procure a new truck for the traffic department, and that has commenced.
That was Minister of Infrastructure Development Norland Cox in July, as he disclosed government's plans to remove derelict vehicles from the roadsides, saying they fully intend to listen to the cries of the citizens and stakeholders. He warned owners to take proactive measures before these vehicles are forcibly removed.
We do have private service operators on island, and we'll seek to engage them to provide some support for us to commence this important program. So we just want to give persons who may be impacted a heads up to you can go ahead and commence to move the vehicle yourself. But we will have to take action to ensure that the road remains safe in that regard going forward.
The issue was again addressed by the minister in August.
We have been in constant discussion with the RGPF, who is our strategic partner in this regard and a key stakeholder. And of course, the Minister for Health, who is here also, is the competent authority to help drive that process.
During Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing, Minister Cox said the initiative began and that a record was secured and should be on island on or before the end of this year to support the work of the RGPF to remove those vehicles. However, he explained some challenges experienced with the storage of these vehicles.
There was some challenge in terms of storage, because you have on the eastern side of the island, and of course on the St. George's area, Guave, St. David's area as well. So I know some work would have started in terms of removing those, but there was some challenge in terms of storage, and there are discussions in terms of compacting, crushing those vehicles with support from solid waste. So yes, they have started, and we have a dedicated record coming in support of the RGPF that should be here in December.
Superintendent Vanny Cowan, who headed the Community Relations Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force in August, was asked about the role of the police in the removal of derelict vehicles throughout the country. And he felt that if the power rested with the police force, the issue will be swiftly addressed.
As law enforcement with the derelict vehicles on the road, it is not primarily a function of law enforcement. It is a function of the ministry. And so we have to work collaboratively with the ministry to ensure that it is done. Left up to us alone, perhaps we would have already done something about it.
Cherry and Blackman, Stephen, GBN News.
And now let's turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Here's Rena Pierre-Thomas.
We present the news. You analyze the various topics and distill the issues as they unfold. Your distillation points matter as we're about to highlight them in our Social Buzz Report.
Residents of Telescope St. Andrews say they are uneasy with the recent happenings at the Telescope Quarry operated by Gravel and Concrete Grenada. Some residents say they were asked to remove their animals from grazing on the property and that no entry and restriction signs were erected barring villagers from entering the property. GBN brought this story and you, our online audience, took to the comment section to air your views. Sincere Hornchild said, "That's Grenada's system. Do it and not care if you affected or inconvenienced. No letters to residents informing them of planned work prior to commencement. Not one single care whatsoever." Jagan Philbert wrote, "Do you know what will be the function of the company? Do you know how much people it will benefit? It will bring benefits to busmen, trucks and other businesses in Grenville." Samantha Pascal comments, "It is about time this quarry resume operations. Hope people in the area are employed to work on it." Anthony Pat said, "Why are these people behaving like this? They are sounding like that is their personal property." And finally, Lorena Waldron commented, "Residents protested against setting up the soil waste plant there. We lost out in St. Andrews. Now some start to rebel against the new initiative. I hope that this does not bitter the investors. Many I know will find gainful employment." And that's where we put a wrap on tonight's buzz. Continue to share your thoughts and concerns with us on our social media platforms.
Keep foods safe after an emergency or disaster. In case of a power outage, keeping the refrigerator door closed will keep foods safe for about 4 hours. Throw out refrigerated leftovers and perishable foods after 4 hours. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Health with support from the Pan American Health Organization.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always act when let you come first. Save energy, save a time, we choose your wattage and we choose your time. When you use appliances, make sure you buy energy efficient every time. Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always act when let you come first. Spare your pocket, spare the earth, always act when let you come first.
You have been waiting on it all year. Now it's your chance to make this Christmas better than ever. Get the extra cash you need with a Make This Christmas Better loan from the GUT Credit Union. Get up to $50,000 to celebrate your Christmas and make your holiday dreams come true. Home improvements, new furniture, a vehicle, debt consolidation, or even a vacation. We can help you get there. Yes, you can. Make this Christmas better with the GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Don't you give up, 'cause a hero inside of you. give up so easy now. Yeah. Keep your hopes and where someone is lonely, out there someone
It's the soul of the music when you hear it.
I hear
It needs no introduction. It has its own natural sentiments that comes with it. That feeling of nostalgia.
it's Christmas.
Digitally remix. Moss International on the inside, Grenada. 21 minutes gone past the hour of 7 o'clock in the morning time.
Every boy and girl
It's going to be Talking to Things Thursday.
sings the cheer.
Has Christmas changed? Yes or no? You tell me.
All be happy. It's
Let's all be happy in the morning time. Good morning, caller. You alive?
Good morning, Joe. That's what I'm talking about.
Good morning to you.
I just love to hear Agnes sing.
You love Agnes.
Yes, I do. I love her singing, yes, ever since. And I'm glad that you're bringing it on.
Well, we're bringing on the spirit of the season, and maybe you're probably in a position to tell me, what has Christmas changed? And if so, what about it has changed?
Well, I'm not a Christmas person, you know. I love the season, but I never make any fuss.
Right, but I mean, from your experience, you mean?
Well, the atmosphere, especially, the love, the giving, and things like that.
Right.
And Christ in Christmas.
Right.
But my mother always said, let the new year meet her new. So all the fuss was for old year's new year.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
Yes,
okay. So so Christmas you just stayed lax, and the fuss was for the New Year's.
Yes, I love the season. I love the music. I love the atmosphere.
Right.
Yes. And Christ-like feeling.
Wonderful.
Most of all, but all the fuss. I'm not a drinker. I'm not a poke eater, and all this kind of thing. That's not me.
That's not you?
No, that's not me.
But do you think it has become, while you don't necessarily go for Christmas, but do you think the season as it is has become a bit over commercialized?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
So, and all the decorations and things not there as before. You know, you just see that and feel that. And
Right. Well,
too much fuss. It's too much fuss.
Too much fuss. But I think for you and I, we still enjoy the season either way.
Yes, I want us to get closer to Christ. This is what we want to experience, the closeness to Christ and the giving, and God wants us to give, to be charitable and things like that.
Right.
Talk about it.
Thanks a lot. Have a blessed day.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
435-2041, that's the number on the inside. Certainly we want to say good morning to Simone Hercules. Lady Perkins locked in there on Facebook. Angela Batiste as well. Lady Cameron. Good morning to all of the Facebookers, wherever you are. You know the season is approaching. We pulled this one from the archives. This is authentically Grenadian.
Let's all be merry.
What say you on a Thursday morning? As you make your way to the JOB, folks. 7:30 workers. You ought to be there on the job already, doing what you have to do. Anything beyond this, it means you are officially late. And I'm going to leave that right there.
Somewhere, someone.
And this one for Moss International. The lead vocalist in there, Agnes Forrester, Derek Chippy Duncan, as part of the group. Digitally remastered. Presented by Jab Balassi Grenada. This census person says Christmas has become too commercialized. We in the Caribbean thing, it is rum. Oh, good Lord. But I keep wondering, has it really, my sentiments is that I don't think it has become, it's been no different. People, the shopping, the frenzy, believe me. I think with each generation, there comes something different about it where people, they put a new spin to it. And keep in mind, remember, with every change in generation, they would adopt new ideas, new culture, ways of expressing themselves. Let's all be happy. Good morning to Alistair Warwood, wherever you are, sir. As you feel the spirit of the season. The stars are shining. Well, some people are saying, well, for this year, they don't know how it's going to happen. They ain't got no money around the place. The music seems to fill the but we're going to allow the music to fill the air and the spirit of the season. And now the bells are ringing. I hear the children. I mean, one of the things you knew about back then when the season came along, the decorations, it was unrelenting. There was no shortage of it. It's Christmas. Let's all be happy. And somebody's willing to share via the telephone lines. Good morning, caller, you alive?
Morning, Joseph.
Good morning to you, and how are you?
Not too bad, and how are you?
I am wonderful. Believe me, I am wonderful.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I know about Christmas, but not much about the Christmas season that is right here now. I want the employers to know that there are workers who work with them for many years. And you cannot just send that worker home because they don't want to take a vaccine to do the job. Now remember, every hungry man shall be fed, as the Lord said. You must have a job to take care of your family, your food on the table, your bills to pay. You have lots of things to do with monies. You have to send to school. You have people to help. And if you cannot help yourself, who will help you? So when that employer fired the employee, the employee fired the worker who was working with them for all the years gone, they sit down home. What do you want them to do? Go and steal from someone, go around begging for help because they don't have a job? A job is important, and God gave everybody something to do in the world. A hungry man, every hungry man has to be fed. We have to help one another.
But let me ask you the question, though. I mean, do you think it's a case where an employer would just wantonly, and I'm asking you, do they just wantonly decide send the employee home?
So why they have to send them? Because they didn't take the vaccine. Some people might take the vaccine to agree with them. They would hold on, they would live until life.
Right.
They might take it, they might have something inside, they might handbug in them. And this vaccine meet up with it, they all gone from this life. So many people die from the vaccine.
So what do you propose as an alternative as we get into the season? If an employer decides for whatever reason, as you would realize in all places of employment, there are statutes, laws that's amended. So if an employer decides for whatever reason, he's adopting a new policy and he gives employees an option and they do not comply, what do you suggest as your recourse? How do you remedy that?
Send home all the old workers and take in new workers because they're vaccine and your old workers in vaccine, you could send them home? You can't do that. If you're a child of God, God said every hungry man shall be fed. You have to help one another. You send them home to sit down, to steal, and to do wrong things.
I don't necessarily. I would not agree with that. I mean, is it the best situation to be in? Obviously not. But I think at the end of the day, a conversation must be had. And my position as it relates to that, it's each individual have to make a decision at the end of the day. You have to make a decision at the end of the day. Either you're going to go one way, as with everything else in life. As with everything else in life, a decision has to be made. To do or not to do. To vax or not to vax. To enjoy Christmas or not to enjoy Christmas. So I think it's unfair to say it is the employer that's opting just to get rid of the employee. I think it's a responsibility on both sides.
What about all the years the worker working with you?
Well, that's a different...
You never find no fault with them. They were working very good and nice. They get it salary when they go home.
But
because now a virus come into the world and nobody know it come from, what it's doing to other people. You have to take a vaccine to keep your job. Do you think that is right?
So I'm asking you, what do you suggest should be a reasonable recourse?
I suggest that you keep on your workers. You look at them, they go to the doctor, they test them, they don't have the virus. If you want to come down, you wear your mask and you do your job.
Well, I think
we'll send them home because they have people to feed and they have money, bills to pay.
Well, I understand the argument both ways.
Christmas season, everybody wants money. When Christmas time, everybody wants to shop.
I think it has to be.
Walking home, you go and shop with.
It has to be a conversation that takes place on both sides of the paradigm. There's an interest on both sides, and everybody have their rights. And I think it has to be. It must be an ongoing conversation. That's my point. But I understand what you're saying. It's always going to be unfortunate, heartrending for anybody to lose their job under any circumstances. But I think the issue of the vaccination must be one where both the employers and the employee consider what's the best thing for them. Okay,
Joseph, you take your vaccine. Those everyone don't take the vaccine. Well, vaccine is not the curable for the virus, it's God.
Well, God is the cure for
save us from this COVID-19.
Ma'am, God is the cure for everything.
And seek Him. The Lord seek everybody's need. You can't take a vaccine and say, you're taking a vaccine. If you have to die, you're going to still die.
Okay, well, let's leave it. Well, then let's leave it that way. Either way, we all going to die. Either way.
Praying to God. He's the only cure for this.
Okay, I understand.
The only one who could save us all from COVID-19 is Jesus.
Okay, I'm with you. 435-2. It's an ongoing conversation, folks, and we have to be open to the conversation. And I respect everybody's position on the issue of the vaccine and everything else, but you can't look at it myopically. You can't. It is the harsh reality of our present present situation. Let's leave that. We will leave that. We are going to leave that alone. Somebody says, well, at Christmas time we look forward to the gifts and we forget the real reason for the season, which is Christ. And some may argue, some may, don't know. It all depends on whether or not some would say it's the gifts, it's the season, the merrymaking, but that is true. Some individuals, they just go over and above with the serenade, the party, the drinking, and everything else. 29 minutes on to the hour. Tell me your stories about Christmas that made it so special. I'll continue to make it that special.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful, sir.
I'd just like to make an interjection in that.
Sure.
The God help those who help themselves. If you just stay so when you don't do the thing, God won't have anything to work for you. You can just stay there and say, God will do it, God will not do it. You understand what I'm saying? God help those who help themselves. It is in the Bible. So you don't feel because you say, God will not stay so and don't do this and that. Oh, well, the other people dying there and God himself save all of them up. You have to do something to help yourself.
Right.
And God will not let it manifest it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Good morning to Theo Duncan. Good morning, Mr. Good morning, Mr. GBSS. Good morning, Mr. GBSS. Mr. Duncan says. Good morning to you, my dear sir. We're keeping our eyes on the clock. I mean, folks, listen. COVID or no COVID, Christmas is going to come. Christmas is going to come. And I keep saying one of the reasons why we need to I'm going to make Christmas special. Honestly, and me enjoying Christmas, I enjoy Christmas as in either way. But sometimes there are situations and circumstances that forces you to a place and point in life where you recognize that there are some things in life that are just totally invaluable. Enjoy the season. I've recognized that life has become short. We are like grass, we're like the weeds. And today life is just but a fleeting moment. Today we're here and tomorrow we are gone. Folks, believe me. Whatever you can, live in the present, enjoy the moment. You notice today we lost 200 individuals to COVID. What's going to happen next year? We don't know. Let's live in the moment. 25 minutes on to the hour in the morning time. We want to say good morning to those of you that is locked in there via social media. Vaccine and color green and yellow are really dividing our country. We become a very divisive country, and some say it's the politicians' fault. I think sometimes I don't always blame the politicians. While politicians, yes, they have a part to play because they encourage and they promote it, but sometimes we allow it to fester. We allow it to fester because I believe one of the things that a lot of us, we tend not to process things for ourselves. Yeah, we don't keep ourselves informed. So because I support a particular, I'm of a specific political persuasion, if I'm told that the Prime Minister is having a national address, I ain't listening to him because X, Y, and Z. But you have to listen to yourself. And we must be able to keep ourselves informed so we can make informed decisions, be aware of what's happening around us. Listen, let's live today. Yes, June, I agree with you. Let's live for today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed to anybody. Nobody at all. And whether it's COVID or not, I think we need to be able to tell ourselves, you know what? We need to be able to say to ourselves, let us live in the moment. I often say yesterday's all gone. It's history. There's nothing you can do. Tomorrow is yet to come. That's why it's called the future. Today, we live in the present. It is a gift. Let us enjoy it, folks. Let us enjoy every moment that we can. As we keep our eyes on the clock, 24 minutes onto the hour of 8 o'clock, we take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we continue to share your thoughts as we get closer to Christmas. Yes, gets closer to Christmas. Let's find a way we can forget the tribalism and the division and the petty division, really and truly, because we always have to remember that each and every one of us, it is our civic responsibility, our civic rights to be of any political persuasion. So whether I support yellow, pink, or whatever it is, I support green, that should not matter. Respect my position. Whether I choose to vaccine or not vaccine, respect my position and realizing more and more that we're becoming almost like cutthroat societies where it almost seems to be the vax against the unvax. Hello, at the end of the day. Forget vaccine. Remember where we were after Ivan? We were Grenadians. And that's ultimately, it doesn't matter what our various differences are. We can differ in a lot of things, but respect each other. 22 minutes onto the hour, we take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right here on Classic and GBN Television.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going. Spare your pocket, spare the earth. Always act when let you come first. Save energy, save a time. We choose your wattage and we choose your time. When you use appliances, make sure you buy energy efficient every time. Spare your pocket, spare the earth. Always act when let you come first. Spare your pocket, spare the earth. Always act when let you come first.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
And now the stars are shining.
You know, I think what we should particularly be grateful for this season as we traverse our way through it is his many bounties. Good morning to you, Yulene Alexander. Oh, Kipling Francis. Good morning to you. So you're up and about. If only for the season we stop and we ask, we can count our blessings. And there's so many things that we can be grateful for. To you, wherever you are, those of you here at home across in other parts of the universe, we say good morning to you. We lost 200. Remember there was the movie 300, where 300 of these Argentine soldiers, they literally put a Persian army at standstill. We lost 200. Let that be a symbolic gesture. That was 200 too much. And we would celebrate the virtue of living, the virtue of being alive, still being here in the land of the living.
It's Christmas.
Every day should be Christmas. And I want to particularly encourage you. And I agree to you, being alive is a blessing by itself. That's true. You know, sometimes you ask people, what is it that you're grateful for? And they seem clueless. They start thinking. You were first grateful because you are alive. We lost 200 of our countrymen, families, friends, loved ones. 200 has been taken to the great beyond. Never. Camille Antoine says this celebration has become a merchandising playbook and have us in captivity for too long enough. We as Christ followers very well know from discernment following the scriptures in context that the day itself is not also what this does interfere with. Let's talk about gifts. It doesn't have a gift for everyone of that family and friends. And persons going to it would have varying perspective on Christmas. You know, I hear the argument that some people make whether or not he was born on the whatever of December, whether he was born in whichever part of the world. Listen, I can't even remember which part of if I was born in the hospital or not. All I know is that I was born. And I celebrate. Plain and simple. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Brother Joe.
Good morning to you, sir.
If it wasn't for my martial arts skills, I would have been a dead man. I'm grateful for life. Just to be,
if it wasn't for your martial arts skills.
To be able to blink your eye or even to be able to walk an inch.
Right.
People have that, there's a difficulty in doing those things. For breathing the breath of fresh air every day.
Correct.
Those simple things go a long way. And I wish you all the best for Christmas.
Thanks, all the best to you, comrade. And the thing, this call it just, it may sound simple, because very often, because we are not able to appreciate the finer things in life, being able, you woke up this morning, I may not be fully cognitive as I was yesterday, maybe a little ache, a little pain, but I'm up. Be grateful for that. You still have friends, you still have family. You know, I sometimes hear people complain, boy, the money I have, it can't pay the bills. All the bills. But in truth, Yulin Alexander, life is a precious gift from God. Let's all be happy about it.
It's Christmas.
Remind you, Christmas should be a way of life, not just an event that we celebrate at one time in the month. But the idea of giving is a principle that works. The idea of being there for one another. And I'm hoping as you go through the season that we remember that neighbor, that loved one. Remember how vulnerable we were after Ivan? It was one of the greatest Christmas I had. Because after Ivan, we learned to appreciate and take nothing for granted.
Music seems to fill the air.
Well, more than Lady Lewis, some things you just really can't take for granted. I get reminded you for the team from the Fisheries Division that's offering the licensing and registration of fishing vessels. That exercise continues today at the Grenada Yacht Club from 12 noon until 3. For those of you interested in testing for the COVID-19, and literally, we looked at the dashboard this morning. We were literally down 0 new cases. We have 56 active cases. But the part I was particularly impressed with is that for the death toll, the death column has remained steady, unchanged for the last couple of days. Remember a couple of weeks ago, you literally heard of the figures. It's skyrocketed. You turn every day, and you keep getting the feeling and asking yourself, what next? Who's going to be next? And it had that chilling effect on your spine that made you ponder, consider. 14 minutes on to the hour in the morning time, Grenada. Reminding you of the plans for the rest of the day. This morning until the point, and that's at 9 o'clock. A representative from the TGM. Folks, I want to encourage you as you go through the day. Reminding you that at the top of the hour, we're going to have a bulletin of news on the BBC. So many things that we take for granted. In Austria, there's a lockdown that's been imposed on the unvaccinated. Here in Grenada, listen, I said to someone recently, what should it matter to you if you were told because you're unvaccinated you can't go to some fancy restaurant? Hey, pappy, save your money. Go buy 2 pounds of back and neck, get a breadfruit, get a piece of yam, get some saffron and some salt meat. Bubble up a pot home, 2 coconut, and you're good to go. It is Christmas. Why worry about the things you have no control over when there's so many things right in front of us? So many things in front of us. Save your money, figure it. You start asking yourself now, okay, what's the plan for my kids, for school, for January? What do they need? What do they need? Listen, you can't go. After that, let's accept the realities of our lives. And again, that's where it comes down. I keep saying choices. You have to determine in life. It's a marketing term, opportunity cost. That which must be given up to obtain the next best alternative. If you determine that giving up your unvaccinated status is the best next alternative, then go right ahead. If you believe that maintaining your vaccine, and maintaining that status of not being vaccinated is the next best alternative to you, then so be it. But at the end of the day, let's all be happy. I'm not seeing much lights around the place though. You see my tree in the back there? Don't worry, my Christmas tree's up and about. I I greet you, Ingrid Bourne. Let's give God thanks for waking us up this morning. Breathing the fresh, the breath of life. We are alive and well. We're looking forward to Christmas, 36 days and counting. What do you want for Christmas this year? I just want to survive the day. Enjoy what it has to offer. 36 days, 16 hours, 8 minutes, and 51 seconds before. Every boy and girl. I think for me, once there is... What parents just need to do is to try to create some good values, good memories for their children. And remember, the values does not necessarily come in the extravagance. It comes in the sentiments and the planning that goes into it. You know, I said it's not often the cost of the gift, but the thought. You know, nothing beats a child who wakes up on Christmas Day and the anticipation. Eunice says, let us not forget to put Christ in our Christmas. This is very important. And also caring and sharing. I know the team and the Ride Along team, they're actually making plans this year to allow Grenadians the opportunity to win 100 hams. Kipling says, time to start concentrating on your needs and forget your wants. And Kipling, that's a very important point that you make, you know. Because very often people do not really quite understand. There is a difference. And very often there are things that we assume that there are needs, only to realize that we can live without it. But those are personal choices that you have to make. They are personal choices that each and every one of us needs to make. I want to encourage you as we go through, we get inch closer to Christmas and we move towards the new year. Let's all make some decisive decisions. What may have worked what worked this year may not necessarily work next year. I'm telling you. Economically, it's going to get much, much, much more difficult. Freight prices going up, everything is going up. Salaries fixed and not going anywhere. But sometimes I wonder if it's a case, folks, Mikey, that some Grenadians are too lazy. I hear people doing, some of us working 15, 16 hours a day. Some people have 2-3 jobs. Listen, folks, you need to start hustling. Every day we hustling. That's what you gotta do. And the truth is, you can't any longer depend on your cousin or auntie in the U.S. Yesterday, a friend of mine was saying that they called their parents, they called some family member, and the family was saying to them, listen, boy, it is difficult. We think because your auntie and your uncle, they send you a barrel, it's because they're sitting on their laurels doing nothing. They work 3-4 jobs a day. It's what they do. I know their families are literally, they just pass each other in the door. That's what your family's doing in the U.S. They probably they work 4 hours away from home. Put this into perspective. You work 4 hours away from home. Your job, you have to start the job at 7 o'clock and travels 4 hours to get to the job. 4 hours to get back home. It means you have to leave home since 3 in the morning. You're working 12 hours a day from 7 to 7. Then you have to leave, head back home. Get home at 11 o'clock. Get an hour and a half sleep and traverse the ride back. Let's be grateful, Grenada. Let's all be happy. Let's all be merry. Let us try to join in the joy of the season. And remind you as we share this morning in our thought for the day, When life gives you 100 reasons why you should break down and cry, you should show life that you have 1,000,000 reasons. And at the top of those reasons that you have to smile and laugh and stay strong is that the fact that you're alive, I'm alive, and we're still here. We'll be happy because it's 36 days before Christmas. The BBC comes up in just a bit. A bulletin of news that is from the BBC. Remind you that COVID-19, the protocols are still in full effect. We are reminded that unvaccinated persons, you are not allowed, you are exempted from picking up passengers on the airport. You can drop off, though, in case you're wondering. You can drop off, folks, and you can head out. But in terms of picking up, that is a no-no. It's all part of the new protocols. The new protocols that took place effective Monday. Literally, that unvaccinated, fully vaccinated people reminding you that once you come in and you have a negative PCR test, that is perfectly fine. You are allowed to do your do, but the airport have notified the nationals that only fully vaccinated persons would be allowed to pick up fully vaccinated passengers at the airport. Don't ask me, I'm not getting into the politics of it. What you think, you don't think, I understand, but that's a conversation that maybe doesn't make sense. I don't know. The question is, if you have family members coming in, have a conversation with them. Yeah? Maybe what you need to do is tell them to walk up by the car park. I'm just saying that jokingly. But listen, what we need to do is, instead of complaining, let's try to find solution. What is the next best solution? What is the next best solution? Tell them, Joseph, it is not easy sometimes when I reach home from... And that is true, Yulin. I mean, and I know the story. I know it all too well. I have friends. I have families. I'm one of those persons, I don't call anybody in New York and ask them for nothing. Believe me. Because I know. I really, really, really know. I really, really know. By the time you get home, it is just enough to do what? Get an hour's sleep, and you have to get up and leave. Rain, thunder, lightning, snowing, whether there's snow in your driveway or not. This Christmas, maybe what we need to do, show our families in the U.S. that we care about them. Send them something, a little black cake, a little ginger beer. Maybe they may not be able to make it home for different reasons. Some of them, they were probably out of jobs. Don't rely on them too much. You know what's a good thing about us here in Grenada before we go? We have food around us, folks. Nobody in Grenada should be hungry. Not a soul is supposed to hungry. But let's count our blessings. Be grateful. Be grateful.
Somewhere, someone is happy.
That is true, yes. Brussels are throwing the unvax under the bus, huh? But yet we still here. We're able to free to move about. Little restrictions, but yeah, the unvaccinated, they're on lockdown. They're only allowed outside for emergency.
Out there, someone is longing.
Folks, let's consider how gifted we are, how blessed we are to be living here in the land of the living on this little piece of rock that's called Grenada. Until then, folks, my dear Kipling, I will convey your sentiments to Blossom. I'll see her later on. Until then, folks,
Let's all be merry.
for those of you out there in the diaspora,
Every boy and
we know it is getting cold. You're in the snow.
sings a cheerful.
We're going to continue to keep our spirits warm here at home as we continue to send a prayer your way. Until then, let's all be happy because we're alive and in the land of the living. Until then, so long, everybody. JC loves you. Keep living.
Introducing YouTube and TikTok to the Digicel Prime Bundle. Now get 1 gigabyte daily to enjoy more YouTube. Plus 1 gigabyte daily to like more TikTok videos.